Good day, nerds. Today we are going to take a look at this secret passage I made. This is a 4x3 variant. I'll explain it a bit more, but this is like the simplest version. It is also seamless, so if you have a ground which extends all the way here to all the way there, you can't see the redstone components except for this button which can be mined. It's supposed to be secret. Now, as this thing uses flying machine, you can theoretically make it all the way up to the simulation distance, but you would require to do some repeater timing because of circuits like this white concrete circuit and this gray concrete circuit, because they rearrange the flying machine, and that requires to be done in the same time interval. Otherwise this will run into a different part of itself and basically cease, which would require a flying machine knowledge to fix that. So in practice it would be much easier to do a 31 blocks long. So this is 4x3, so a 31x3 is possible with this particular design, but you would require to know how to do that. I'm not going to do it because it would be a really long video. Like, this video is going to be really long because we're going to have how to make section, and it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages to it, and every stage have their own amount of steps per stage, so we'll go into that. Let's go by circuits. The green circuit is the half piston extender circuit. It controls everything related to that. So on our left side we have the extended version of the half quadruple piston extender, and here we have the compressed version. Essentially what the green circuit does is it disables those pistons, so this part of the ground will go down and it can be shifted. It will shift from one side to the other and from the other side to back to original place. The black circuit controls the firing, so it controls the input. So when you're going to send it input, it is going to check if the flying machine is there or not, and if it is there, then it is going to check if the input from the user was given or not, which is done with this AND gate. It will basically start. The white concrete is so the flying machine will start to fly down. It is going to rearrange the flying machine into a downwards configuration, so it will fly down, and it will also begin the quadruple piston extender part, which is done here. This is for timing reasons, because this is how much long it's going to take for flying machine to rearrange itself and fly this slow, so this can go past it without running into the flying machine. Before the quadruple piston extender extends, we are going to send a signal here to this copper flopper, which is going to retract these pistons, which is going to retract the block above it, and then this is going to be pushed. At the end of the quadruple piston extender, we're going to refire the copper flopper, so that will extend and basically get this flush finish. Then the flying machine is going to come down here. It is going to run into this obsidian and basically come to a halt. it is also going to send a signal to this golden circuit. This is basically going to take account that the flying machine is down here. If it is down here, then it is going to send this rearranging flying machine. The golden and the gray circuit, they rearrange the flying machine so it can fly upwards. But the golden circuit is needed because of these pistons. We don't have space to rearrange them with this type of static circuit. That is why we are using a dynamic circuit with the flying machine, this golden circuit, which is going to rearrange these pistons, not pistons, these observers. So it will going to be in the pushing mode. Currently it is in pushing mode, so this observer is going to fire this sticky piston, which is going to push this sticky piston. As sticky pistons are only sticky when they're going to push, when they're going to retract something. They're essentially using this sticky piston as a normal piston. That is why it is in pushing mode right now. If observer is going to be above it, then it is going to be in pulling mode, so this sticky piston will actually pull something. By the same logic, this flying machine was made. So that is why we require to push these observers back into position. That is what this flying machine does. That flying machine has its own return circuit over here, this golden part. So the golden parts are for this flying machine, and the gray is for this flying machine. Here we have a copper flopper which accounts for if this flying machine, this rearranging flying machine, is in position or not. It is currently in position, so it is on. If it is going to go that way, it is going to turn off because of this observer powering this redstone line. It will turn off, and once it is going to return, it is going to turn on. What it does is, here we have a very crude way of signaling user that this entire thing is going to collapse back into position. It is done with these noteblocks. And then we power the gray circuit, and we also power the green circuit. The green circuit will essentially power this quadruple piston extender. So we have stairs, they're going to go back into position, they're going to get replaced by dirt. And the same thing with copper flopper, which I explained earlier. So this is basically going to return stairs back into position and dirt back into position, while the gray circuit is going to rearrange the final bits of this flying machine, so it is going to fly upwards. Now, to get that kind of step action, we have this flying machine extensions with different slices, so to come around the piston pushing limit, and we want everything to stop at different intervals. That is done with this stopper blocks. So this is going to essentially just get pulled once and get stuck on this this obsidian. This is going to get pulled down twice and going to get stuck on the obsidian, and so on. So in the same manner, I can continue it in 31 blocks in that direction. Essentially get a 31 by 3 secret door. But you would require to keep copying this flying machine and its way of rearranging it to get that 31 by 3 secret door. Now let's explain what is the glazed terracotta we're doing here. So everything which is made out of pink glazed terracotta requires to be static. I mean, it doesn't require to be static, it is going to be static, but it requires to be non-sticky. So you can essentially use leaves here, or use moss, or use other glazed terracotta, or use obsidian, or use crying obsidian in place of the pink glazed terracotta to do your decoration. The green glazed terracotta requires to be a glazed terracotta block of any color you like. It is essentially being shifted from this side to that side and from that side to this side. So this requires to be of a glazed terracotta variant. This is essentially the entire circuit explained. Now let's go on how to make it. We are going to stop with this stage. This is basically the extension and all of the glazed terracotta bits. This is going to be what the result is going to look like after this step. So we begin with marking out the area we require. So this is essentially 5 blocks here. The machine is going to pull 4 blocks, and we require a block swapper on the 5th, so it's going to be stair here as well. Essentially this is going to be pulled down, so stair is going to be here, 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 and here. We do require another stair here, so to easily access, like go over the surface. So essentially carve out this space, put honey and slime structure. This is the same honey and slime structure everywhere, they're just alternating. They require to be alternating. This is done so we go around the piston pushing limit. You cannot have slime and slime next to it, it will be too heavy, then the flying machine is not going to be able to pull this or push it. We also require a stopper block for this extension, and we require a stopper block for the flying machine. So this is basically the first step. The second step is to put all of the glazed terracotta or the non-movable decoration you're going to use. So here is a mini circuit, not a mini circuit, mini demonstration. This is essentially displaying any kind of glazed terracotta. This is moss. This is all kind of leaf variant. Do keep in mind the nether wart variants are not applicable for this. They are movable by the honey and slime, so you cannot use them. Any leaf is going to work. Any moss, well, they only have one moss at the moment. Oh no, we have two moss, the gray and the green one. So any moss is applicable for decoration. Any glazed terracotta is applicable. Any kind of obsidian block is applicable, crying obsidian or regular obsidian, or extended piston. These all do not stick to slime or honey, so they can be used as decoration. The decoration can only be done on this pink glazed terracotta section. So here, here, and here. While the green glazed terracotta requires to be a glazed terracotta block, because this is the only block in the game as of now that does not stick to slime or honey or sticky pistons and is movable. Then we're going to finish this stage by placing a copper flopper, taking signal from it via comparator, having sticky pistons here, and some block to support redstone line. I wouldn't say you're required to color code your machine if you're just going to build it yourself, but if there's going to be some kind of issue, it would be a lot easier to debug if it's going to be color coded. Let's go to stage 2. In stage 2, we're going to have the quadruple piston extender on either side. This is basically going to what it looks like at the end of it. So you can essentially excavate the area required to build it. And let's begin. So the crying obsidian here is for scale, so we have 4 block gap here. This is on the left side, if this is where the block is going to be stored. And here we have 3 blocks. Essentially this is just a scale. So starts from the end step, which is that one. We are going to place stairs into the direction we want to for this secret passage to go, and then we are going to place regular pistons in this arrangement. So here we have 3 stairs, glazed terracotta, piston looking that way. This is a regular piston, this is also a regular piston, and that is also a regular piston. Essentially make this and build it here. Here we have 4 block gap and no glazed terracotta, just 4 pistons. Arrange this many times. This is the first step of the stage. The second step for this stage is to power everything, like so the pistons can actually do the extension. So essentially because the ground is going to be at this level, we cannot have redstone line going over here or concrete blocks over here, because then we don't have space. So start from here, place your concrete blocks like so. So this is 1 block gap, and all the way up to this piston, and 2 more out. Then we have a 8 game tick repeater, redstone dust, another concrete block so we can power this piston line as well, redstone dust, a 4 game tick repeater, then another 4 game tick repeater, redstone dust line, another 4 game tick repeater and redstone line. And to power these pistons, like this one, this one, this one, and that one, we require target blocks, because there is no other way to power them, as this essentially this is going to move, so we cannot have redstone dust over there. We require target blocks here. Exactly the same thing is done here, but mirrored. And then we are going to take, so I explained about this part, essentially copy it over here as well. Again, we have 8 game tick repeater, 4 game tick repeater, 4 game tick repeater, 4 game tick repeater, and then we essentially make this line and power the copper flopper from this line. And same thing here. Now let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We go 9 blocks downwards. And this is a glass staircase, so we can actually send signal up and down. In our case, we are only using it to send signal up. Here we have 8 game tick repeater. Here we have a rising edge monostable circuit. This is a sticky piston. Then observer looking into the sticky piston. This will come in handy later. Here we have a regular staircase. Essentially, this is the part where we're going to power to close it. So you power here, this signal is going to go first because it has less delay than that. It is going to turn off this copper flopper, which is going to retract the piston. So this block is down here, so we can actually shift it. And then this quadruple piston extender is going to fire. Essentially the same thing is done here, but here we start. So this is the reference where we made the stopper block from the flying machine. From here we make this line. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 repeaters at 8 game tick delay. Then a block. This is a rising edge monostable circuit. Again, this is a sticky piston observer. This is here, so you power the copper flopper, so it will retract and this can be pushed. The exact same idea as here. Then we take this line, we have another 8 game tick delay. Then we are going to make this upward staircase and power this side of the quadruple piston extender and this side of the quadruple piston extender, basically finishing this step. Now at the end of this, we are going to have at the end of this stage, we are going to have a flying machine, a way to power the flying machine. Well, not a way to power the flying machine, this is the input circuit for the user. This is from where we're going to take inputs. This is essentially what's going to be done. So let's begin with the flying machine. These pistons and these pistons, they're all sticky pistons. These ones are facing upwards like that, and they are built between the stopper blocks. So this is the stopper block for the flying machine, and this is the stopper block for the extensions. So sticky piston looking up. This one is to control the extension, and this is actually for the flying machine. So we have sticky pistons looking up, sticky pistons looking up, and sticky pistons looking down, and sticky pistons looking down. Just place them in this way. Then we are going to give them a power source. We are using observers for our flying machine, so that is what we're going to do. Here we're essentially going to place observers in that direction, so its dot is facing into the piston. The same thing is here. It is critical to make them the way it is shown here. So the second block here is where the observer is placed. Here the second block is where the observer is placed, and here the second block is where the observer is placed. These are all the observers required to place. Now we are going to add the slime and honey in alternating way, and we are going to make a input for the user. This is going to be over there. Here is the flying machine. This spot is the extension. You take slime block here, 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 and here, and essentially mirror that with honey. This requires to meet like this. Then for the flying machine, which starts from here, here we have alternating line of slime and honey. So this can be honey and this can be slime. Then we have this can be slime. It doesn't really matter because we don't have another flying machine here, but if you're going to extend it, this requires to be alternating because the other flying machine is going to start like this. So here we have honey and here we have honey. Now we require a stopper block for the flying machine when it is going down. Here is crime obsidian for scale. So once you finish the flying machine, go 1 2 3 4 5 6 blocks down, and on the 7th block we put 2 obsidian, well, stopper block for my case. So it is going to ram into these pistons. Now we are going to add the input for this. I have done my input here. You can essentially make it anywhere. Here this is basically a sticky piston with redstone block, which is going to power this repeater, which is going to go here into this AND gate. This is incorrect. Like here we are taking signal from the flying machine to detect when it is here. So this should be on like that. Here we have 8 game tick arbitrary delay. This is done to reduce the user error so the flying machine doesn't fire erratically and get stuck on itself. We take a comparator, we do this line and send it into this AND gate. You see this is off, that is because the flying machine is here. Now we take another signal which is going to turn off this redstone torch. If it is going to go off, this will turn on, and this is going to be sent to this redstone torch is going to be sent to signal the flying machine to fly downwards. We are essentially taking input from the secret passage and from the secret entry. So this is where you're going to route your signals to. This is basically what you're required to do. Now let's get to next step, the second last step. Here, what do we have here? Here we are going to add the rearranging flying machine. Don't pay attention to crying obsidian here. We're going to add a rearranging flying machine and circuitry for it to work. So let's begin with the flying machine. I have removed other stuff here so we can essentially focus on this tiny space. So this is the top stopper block, essentially this is where the flying machine is going to be, like this. From there we have this flying machine as scale. Where do you start? Here we have a regular piston. This is a sticky piston. This is a sticky piston, sticky piston, sticky piston, other sticky piston, and obsidian. We do require to make it like this for the flying machine. Then we're going to add power source for them. So for this piston we have this observer. For these piston we have this observer. For these piston we have this observer. You may notice that we have these two pistons. They are used to rearrange the position of observers so the flying machine can fly forward. So they will have different power source. Now we are going to add slime structure. So essentially you would be end with this. You're going to put slime here, slime or honey, doesn't matter. Slime here. So this is 3 blocks, this is 2 blocks. Now we are going to add a circuit so this flying machine can actually fly in that direction. Essentially before you put slime here, you should make this, otherwise this will fire and we don't want that. So we make this type of line and then put a redstone dust over here. Just make it in this shape, and this is going to be end of this side. On this side, for reference, from the flying machine we have a sticky piston here. It is not directly in the path of flying machine, it is adjacent to it. So this honey is not going to steal this sticky piston. Then this sticky piston gets powered by this line. Here we have a sticky piston with slime block. This is obsidian to stop that flying machine, so it will run here. It is going to power this 6 game tick delay repeater. It is going to power this and that slime box to pistons to rearrange that flying machine so it can go back. So this is essentially this step. Now we are going to take input from the main flying machine, that it is actually down here, and only then will this flying machine fire. So essentially this is the stopper block for the flying machine, the main flying machine. Here we have a moss block. It can be obsidian or crying obsidian or glazed terracotta, it doesn't matter. It just requires to be a non-sticky block. You cannot use leaf in this case because leaves do not allow you to put a repeater on them. So a mouse block repeater with the default 2 game tick delay, which is going to run into copper bulb, which is going to be read with a comparator. This is a rising edge monostable circuit. This is in fact a sticky piston. So essentially, when this is going to get powered, this is going to send a signal here, which is going to power this sticky piston and this sticky piston, which are going to rearrange the flying machine, so it will start flying in that direction. That is essentially the end of that step. Now here we are going to add the white concrete circuit. This is the starting circuit, which is going to start the flying machine and send a signal to the green concrete circuit. And we are going to add the gray circuit. This is essentially to rearrange the flying machine so it will fly up, and send signal to the green circuit so it will going to push the blocks back into position. This is the entire step. This is going to be the end result. At the end of it, you can fire your contraption, and it's essentially works like this. So let's begin. Where are we? We are starting with the rearrangement process for the main flying machine. So for reference, this is the top stopper blocks for the main flying machine. Essentially we are here. We are going to add a sticky pistons, not a sticky piston, a four sticky pistons like this. So this will pull the observer up. 2 sticky piston like this. This will pull observer up. Sticky piston with slime block. Sticky piston with slime block. These will pull this and this observer up. And this is the sticky piston, so it will push them down. Yeah, this will push them down. So you make them with reference. Now we are going to add circuitry to power the top section. This is our white circuit here. So these sticky pistons get this line, and we have again a rising edge monostable circuit here. This is essentially going to end up here to power the green circuit as a reference. So we make this line, which is going to power these sticky pistons, these sticky pistons, this sticky piston, and this sticky piston, and this sticky piston with observer. Then we also have the beginning of gray circuit. We're going to power our bottom sticky pistons with this, and our top sticky pistons with this. This again is a falling edge connection. This is a falling edge monostable circuit. So essentially this is going to extend like that, and only when it is going to retract will the bottom pistons fire. Essentially we fire these sticky pistons first and that sticky piston, those sticky pistons later. So this is a falling edge monostable circuit. And now we are going to finish our gray circuit. So where we have our rearranging flying machine. Don't pay attention to that crying obsidian or this crying obsidian. So where we have this rearranging flying machine, where we have this piston, we're going to start our process. We're going to have a solid block with redstone dust over here, which is going to power this copper block. This is being powered by this observer. So, and this copper block is essentially telling us that this flying machine is in its position. From here, we're going to take a comparator signal. This here, you can do this, or you just don't want to do it. It matters on you. So here we have dot block. These are going to fire just before the entire thing is going to close. Here we have 8 game tick delay, which is going to go into this rising edge more stable circuit and this rising edge more stable circuit. Essentially, for reference, it is going to power here that observer, this observer, and here we're going to continue the gray line. So this is going to come here, power this block, which is going to come here with default 2 game tick delay. We're going to power this piston. Essentially, it is going to do that. It is going to power the sticky piston first and these sticky pistons later. Now your build is complete. Alright, before you actually power your segment, I forgot to mention the way the machine should be like set. You noticed how we have these copper bulbs? They require in a particular mode before you fire them, otherwise your machine either is not going to fire or it is going to fire but with issues. So essentially, when you're going to finish building it, what you require to do is go ahead and check that this copper bulb is active. If it is not, you can go ahead and power it like that. You can go ahead and power it like, oh my god. You can essentially go ahead and power this like, you can go ahead essentially power it like that. So these sticky pistons should be active before you do anything. Then your flying machine should be here. If it is here, the copper bulb should be active before you fire the entire contraption. Then here your flying machine should be here, and if it is here, this copper bulb should be active, and this can be activated and deactivated using using redstone block. Here the copper bulb should be deactivated and you should not have a flying machine. So essentially these are the steps you require to do before you actually fire your contraption after building it. Now your build is complete and you should test it by powering it. It should be done. Now for people that want to make it longer, I would not recommend you to do it if you do not understand what is going on here. Like, why is this piston and this piston firing on the same time despite having a repeater here? If you do not understand this, look up what is CTX and PTX. Only then would I recommend to extend this, because essentially this entire white circuit requires to be powered on the same time. So these pistons and these pistons and this piston require to power on the same time, otherwise the flying machine is not going to be arranged on the same time, and it will fire erratically, which will cause it to crash into its adjacent flying machine, which will cause it to crash. If you do not understand this, or this, why only this piston is being powered, not that one, look up CTX and PTX and only then try to extend it.